Happy morning. Today's video is about battered baby syndrome, and in this part of video lecture we will be discussing regarding the definition, the salient features of battered baby syndrome, and the history. On examination, what could be the external injuries and the most common internal injuries, followed by the methods to diagnose and what are the differential diagnosis, and how to handle in case of autopsy, and what are the things to see, and how to interrupt the findings, and what are the differential diagnosis during autopsy have been discussed. Most is the synonyms to battered baby syndrome. Out of all these listed, the most commonly used terminologies are child abuse syndrome and non-accidental injuries of childhood. And better to remember, and most commonly they may twist, and the candidate knows the answer, but without remembering the synonyms or other terminologies, he fails to write. So better to remember all these terminologies relating to battered baby syndrome, and these are the listed synonyms. And coming to the definition of battered baby syndrome, a battered child is one who has received repetitive physical injuries as a result of non-accidental violences, either produced by parent or a guardian, and the victim usually less than 3 years of age. The salient features of battered baby syndrome, and here the first and foremost reason is being lack of provocation, and here beating is completely excusable, and the provocation is always a trivial. And second, the precipitating factors, wherein child often irritates the parent or a guardian by performing or by repetitive acts of crying, refusal to be quiet, persistent soiling of napkins, or breaking any other objects and other. And these forms of physical torture in form of beating is most commonly seen over unwanted children or a child born through a forced marriage or a joyless marriage, and are more prone to suffer from repeated physical violences. Third, and due to the irritating actions, and wherein in extreme stages where the deprivation of nutrition, care and affection are more commonly seen, and deprivation of nutrition in form of the child appears to be malnourished, and giving a sympathy look, and where he or she also suffer from psychological illnesses. And fourth, there will be always a delay in form of the onset of injuries and the medical attentions that has been sorted out. And most commonly, a child seeks an attention only when the child becomes critically ill, and where in extreme cases the parents lose nerve, and they give a blank reason, wherein due to lack of money or lack of time, the child has not been brought for medical attention. Fifth, most of the children suffer from, at least 10 to 15% of cases, they suffer from cerebral palsy, maybe also the result of battered baby syndrome. The other features of battered baby syndrome are where usually the age of the child will be lesser than 3 years old, and even it can occur at any ages, and the predominant sex being male child, and the status of the child in a family are usually an unwanted child, or being suffering of any disability, or on a stepchild, or a child that is born due to failure of contraception, and most commonly even in some cases it may be the own child. There may be even allegations on the mother regarding the chastity or the dignity of a woman is being in question, where those children have been repeatedly forced for physical abuse. And remember, one such classical feature there will be always a delay between the injury and the medical attention that has been seeking. The socio-economic factors relating to battered baby syndrome, the first and foremost are the age group of the parents, and here they belong to age group of 20 to 30 decade, and the family within a low socio-economic status or within a lower education, and a family of disharmony, repeated debates between husband and wife, and a complete family disharmony, and even long-standing emotional problems may be the other provocating factors, and relating to criminal records towards father. He may be charged of any of the offences in past, and also may be a repeated offender. And regarding the mother may have multiple social as well as psychiatric problems or any other illnesses. Low IQ, both in case of mother and father, or a child is born of an unhappy childhood experience. They also, father, mother, also experienced these sort of forms of physical abuse in their early childhood, and other most common unemployment, lack of money within a family could be the other socioeconomic factors which may be a contributing feature wherein the child have been prone for repeated physical abuse, and they also being a victim of battered baby syndrome. Regarding the history part that has been narrated by the parent or a guardian, and whatever the history they narrate, it will be totally incompatible with the injuries sustained on the body. And for example, there have been some abrasion seen, or there have been a butt of a cigarette that has been used to cause thermal injuries on the child, and but in narration towards the history, they suggest that the child has fallen from the downstairs, or he has sustained an injury while riding a bicycle or something else. And when you match the history with the injuries that have been sustained, that will be totally incompatible, and you can't even correlate with the history. And second classical feature of a battered baby syndrome, where a child has been a victim of repeated trauma over a period of time. And for example, there have been multiple injuries, take it as multiple five injuries have been presented, and two injuries of recent infliction, and list three are of remote infliction. And by meticulous examination, we can able to differentiate based on the healing nature of the wound and the time since of infliction. And here in case the remote injuries will show a classical sign of healing, and even in extreme cases there may be even a scar formation. But in recent injuries, we can able to make out a clear cut red marking and a red discoloration over the injured part, and by which we can able to nail out the time since of infliction. And even the explanation provided by the guardian or the parent will not be sufficient enough to justify the injuries that have been on the external surfaces. And if they narrate a history, and for all injuries, then it should be of same time period, right? Time period in sense time since infliction of injury. But the history narrated and the injuries sustained will be of totally different. And second history, wherein parents given a blame excuse. They have consulted multiple doctors on different days, or even they reach the same doctor with a serious contradiction towards their past statements towards the history. And regarding the external injuries, right? And in external injury, same such, and how to examine a living individual, and if there been a case of an injury, how do we examine? Same protocol applicable. And here the examination should start from head to toe examination, and the primary history in form of you are about to inquire a child, and the child will give an empathy loop, and he or she will not speak freely, and if a parent or a guardian asked to wait outside during the course of examination, child may even speak out, and he or she may even narrate the history, what was the exact cause or the etiology for the injuries, and other thing is the consent part. The consent again, because child is being the most commonly child, the victim being lesser than 3 years or even the older ages child, wherein the consent from the parent and guardian is compulsory, and after obtaining a consent, the examination starts in, and the total body examination, and followed by if there been a particular localized area wherein the child points out with a pain or an injury, that should be documented in history taking papers. And in external injuries over soft tissue are more common, and especially injuries over head, face, neck region are more predominantly seen, and the presentation will be in of bruises, abrasions, or laceration. The term for bruises otherwise contusion, and the presentation, and by meticulous examination we can able to nail out those injuries of not of on the same age, and they are of different ages. And another characteristic lesion that can be seen in battered baby syndrome is laceration of a mucosa inside the upper lip, and often it presents as a tear of a frenulum, is another characteristic lesion. And multiple contusions, multiple bruises of various ages are seen over the body or the external surfaces, and more commonly this is highly suggestive of rough handling, repeated beating, kicking, throwing of an infant are more common, and this of classical, right? There have been a tear of frenulum, as well as can able to see contusions over the part of a lower lip. Tear of an frenulum, and you can able to see contusions, and even the clotted bloods on a part of the lip region. And in even in extreme cases where you can able to see a bite mark, again a type of contusion, and we can even in the by grading of bite marks, even if you can identify the teeth, and in extreme stages wherein bite marks, stage 3, stage 4 of bite marks, where there may be even loss of a soft tissue from the concerned region. And bite marks more classically seen over cheek region, shoulder, chest, abdomen, arms, legs, and even in buttock of a infant. And slap marks in form of contusion, and again clear lines of petechial hemorrhages can be seen. And if there have been knuckle punches, a row of 3 or 4 rough rounded bruises are being seen, and repeated pinch marks can present as a butterfly shaped bruises with one wing caused by an thumb often a larger and than the other, and bland patches in form of traumatic alopecia, wherein a repeated pulling of hair can cause repeated alopecia, and by examining the root, and highly suggestive of there being a stretch, and there will be description of the root, and blanded patches and signs of malnourishment are other classical features are seen towards victims of battered baby. Here you can able to make out patterns of contusions, patterns of scratch markers over the external surfaces, and type of spectacle hemorrhage or otherwise raccoonitis, wherein a blow over the sides of a head, and need not to be a fracture of a skull to have a spectacle hemorrhage, and migratory bruises in form of and other case presentation over other parts of our body wherein we can able to see multiple bite marks in form and even based on the grading of the bite mark there may be even losses of soft tissue if there been grade of 3 and 4 of bite mark and totally child will be uh, usually thin built and even in extreme forms of sadism uh, not sadism, extreme forms of psychiatric illnesses, wherein child may even suffer a multiple incised wound on part of a body, and and there may be associated with bleeding or extreme deep lacerated wounds are also possible. And regarding visceral injuries and for being repeated head trauma can even leads to subdural hemorrhages and in case of 40% it can even result in fatality and crushing and compression of forces on abdomen can result in bursting injuries over liver or spleen region and perforations of distended hollow viscera including stomach, intestine, urinary bladder are more likely if there been a compression force or a crushing force that has been acted on the abdominal region uh, of the victim and duodenum also may be in case it can be fully transected where there be extreme degrees of violences and even tears of mesentery and disruption of small intestines are more likely when there have been punches blows over the part. Regarding burns, right? Regarding burns, stubbing of cigarette ends upon the skin may produce small circular pitted burns and pink or red when it is being fresh and in case of a remote wherein signs of healing may be seen and on healing silvery center with a narrow red rims have been seen and even throwing of hot liquids or wherein a part of an limb or a part of an extremity wherein a child has been asked to immerse his part and wherein extreme degrees of burns are more likely on the victims and for in form of scars is more likely throwing throwing in a hot steam liquid and it can result in blister formation on part of exposed region. Bilateral retinal hemorrhages and here in case uh, being a disorder wherein there been a bleeding within layers of retina and most common causative again battered baby syndromes wherein repeated abusive head traumas with or without blunt injury and wherein extreme degrees of repeated acceleration and deceleration injuries wherein retinal hemorrhages can occur in infancy and in childhood and if a child being cooperative and a child about to speak in absence of parent and guardian and when we ask for the symptoms do you suffer from any sort of blurriness or do you see any floaters that have been floating in front and there been any distorted in vision can you see the blackboard in the classroom or if there have been any rednesses and even parent have been available or just an ask this sort of histories and if these symptoms have been seen on the victim and better to refer to an ophthalmologist and to seek an expert opinion and again in part of an external examination and internal examination you document those injuries and finally after that a child can be referred to an ophthalmologist and the opinion can be made out. And regarding diagnosis of retinal hemorrhage, and by doing an ophthalmoscope or an fundoscopic examination, we can able to uh, make a diagnosis of retinal hemorrhage. And remember, in mild cases wherein medications and iris and other is more likely, and in case of extreme retinal hemorrhages, there may be even it can result to a loss of vision. Regarding the internal injuries of victims of battered baby, of internal injuries where skeletal injuries are more likely, and they are seen over skull region, and predominantly over the occiput and the parietal area of a skull region are more likely to sustain fractures, and the fractures may be of linear, and wherein extreme degrees of hard blunt objects and a high force that has been applied, even it can causes depressed fractures, and wherein repeated traumas over the concerned part, even it can causes comminuted fractures, and fractures of infancy like sutural fractures are more likely to see in victims. And on the adjacent area to the fractured areas may show periosteal hematomas and larger, and if in been a case of a lesion towards an arterial origin, and the hematoma may be in slow in onset or insidious in onset if there been a venous injury or a venous bleeding that has occurred. And X-ray is mandatory, and even by seeing on physical examination, if there been an obvious deformity on part of extremities, or there been a pointing of some concerned part wherein child says he has been suffering from pain, or there been any restricted mobility of extremities, wherein X-rays can be ordered, and if it been a bleeding under the periosteum, you can able to make out a line of classification, and wherein extra line of opacities have been seen on X-rays on the entire length, on the affected length of a bone can be seen. And regarding the long bones, and predominantly upper limbs are more likely to be injured or more likely to be fractured, and the presentation or the type of fracture will be of transverse or spiral fractures of extremities, and the resulting force is due to compression or bending or a direct forceful blows either with an hardened blunt object, or there been a fall over external objects. And regarding the chest region, wherein anterior posterior compressions of the chest region can cause fractures of rib, especially on the mid axillary line. And if there been a side to side compression on the chest region, wherein fractures at costochondral junctions are seen. And ordering X-ray is mandatory, and again by a routine practice, right? If there been a case where child complains over a particular part, or a doctor on examination makes out an obvious deformity, and he need to order an X-ray, and a plane of X-ray is more the AP as well as the lateral views of X-rays are needed. And if there been a fracture, again seeking an orthopedic expert opinion is more likely, and again by doing a first aid and other, and a child can seek an orthopedician opinion. And the diagnosis, regarding the diagnosis part, and even in parts of internal injury where there may be a tear of intestine, or there been an injury over the larger intestine and stomach, are more likely where there been a blow, and even solid viscera, soft viscera, wherein liver, spleen are more likely to show laceration, and again even USG can be ordered, and based on the history that has been suggested, and whatever the examinations points that has been collected during the examination, by which we can order the imaging modalities. And regarding the diagnosis of this syndrome, wherein the degree and the type of injury is at the variance with the history provided, and when injuries of belonging to different ages and showing different stages of healing. And again, this making a diagnosis of syndrome. This syndrome is more likely, and the history that has been narrated by the parent or a guardian, and they give a cause or in form of an excuse, wherein there will be a delay in seeking medical attention, even despite there being a serious injuries on the victims. And evidence of fractures of any bone, and subdural hematoma, and failure to thrive, signs of malnourishment, soft tissue swellings, skin bruises, and wherein a child being taken as a sudden death, and wherein if these injuries have been noted, and possibly he could be a victim of a battered baby syndrome. And to sum up the diagnosis, nature of injury, and second, there will be an obvious delay in medical advice, seeking medical advice. 3, recurrent injuries, and remember ordering imaging studies in form of X-rays, MRIs based on the requirement of the case, and wherein these to be taken, and these investigations to be taken, and it should be documented in case paper. Differential diagnosis of battered baby syndrome are of all these listed. There have been a less care and affection, and where there have been a less supplement of essential minerals and vitamins, and the case may even present as a case of scurvy or a rickets, and congenital syphilis for hypermobile and hyperflexible joints and other, and osteomyelitis where a repeated trauma, and there been a delay in examination and seeking medical attention, where even it can present as an infection to the underlying bones, high grade fever with an extreme deformities, fractures, old fractures, and even it could be a case of leukemia, juvenile osteoporosis, paralytic disease of infancy, infantile cortical hyperostosis, osteogenesis imperfecta, or the other differential diagnosis, wherein treating physician need to exclude these conditions prior making to an opinion or making a diagnosis of a battered baby syndrome. Regarding differential diagnosis, and for an undergraduate, he need to differentiate bruising and fracture, and this could be the most evident on external examination. And regarding bruises, wherein hemophilia will be the first condition he need to differentiate, and by ordering prothrombin, and ordering partial thromboplastin time, wherein he can able to differentiate bruising from hemophilia. And regarding purpura, wherein typical distribution of the lesions, and can able to differentiate. And regarding Mongolian spot, a congenital anomaly, a birthmark, otherwise you need to differentiate from a true bruises. And regarding DDs for fractures, and first and foremost osteogenesis imperfecta, wherein a radiological survey followed by presence of a blue sclera and genotyping, by which this condition can be differentiated. And regarding rickets, nutritional history, birth trauma by the birth history, and regarding leukemia, by ordering complete blood count and bone marrow analysis will be helpful to differentiate leukemia. And in case of neuroblastoma, a bone marrow biopsy or bone marrow analysis, and biopsies from the bones, wherein we can able to differentiate neuroblastoma. Regarding the autopsy of the deceased victim of battered baby syndrome, and a link in a description section wherein how to do a postmortem examination of an infant has been provided in a description section. And the autopsy, wherein it is almost like more likely to an adult autopsy, but there are some minor modification. And regarding to this case of battered baby syndrome, wherein autopsy surgeon need to order X-rays prior to commencement of the proper autopsy. And how to suspect? By seeing on external injuries, where it shows injuries of different stages, some signs of different stages of healing, and on external examination, if there been a obvious deformities or where an autopsy surgeon thinks that it could be more likely to be a case of a battered baby syndrome, then he can order uh, radiological imaging, and wherein different stages of healing, even it can be made on by seeing lines of opacities on X-rays. And autopsy external examination, again it is a mandatory to examine the clothings of the deceased and degrees of its cleanliness and state of its repair. And degrees of cleanliness, it suggests that from the precipitating factors and to the epidemiological factors, otherwise the salient features of the battered baby syndrome, wherein we come across one such word where there been less care and affection, right? And where cleanliness of a child has not been taken into consideration by the parent and guardian, wherein there may be presence of a dirty cloth and it has been worn for a longer time, and wherein a child lacks bathing at frequent intervals, where even it can present as in a forms of dermatitis, where repeated scratching, scribblings can be seen on the part of external examination. And in parts of a clothing, these degrees of cleanliness and states of repair, and where even clothing may show marks of injury. For example, when the fetus being kicked off or the infant being kicked off, where even a shoe mark can also be, a shoe dirt mark can be also seen on the part of a wearing. And weight, and the next weight, head, the head circumference, status of nutritional status to be documented in autopsy report. And for assessment of state of nutrition, subcutaneous fat deposits and degrees of diaper rashes and its sequelae need to be taken into consideration. And regarding the special note, evidence of insect infestations, including fresh bites, secondary infections in more recent bites, can also be documented in a external examination. And other findings, where a suspected trauma and remote recent injuries will be seen, size, shape, the exact location of the injury, the color and the degree of healing to be documented in part of injuries. And asymmetry of head, extremities, and if there have been presence of obvious deformity due to a fracture, those things can be made out in external examination, those again to be documented. And in part of an examination, where a characteristic lesion of a battered baby syndrome, remember, tear of frenulum of upper lip to be examined, and frenulum to be examined, and if there been a tear, and again it can be photo snapped by taking a photograph, and the finding again to be documented in autopsy report. Burn scar marks and swelling of joints, congenital deformities, if there have been any presence, those again to be documented. And regarding eyes, subconjunctival hemorrhages, detached retinas, and again with the help of an ophthalmoscope, those again can be seen, right? And the reason for detachment of retinal or presence of retinal hemorrhages could be repeated acceleration and deceleration injuries of infancy. And even displaced lens, ectopic lentis can also be another finding of eye. And in case of genitalia, wherein a child also could be a case of a sexual abuse in form of, right? If in case the victim being a stepchild or a child is born for an unhappy married life, in those cases wherein child being a victim of sexual abuse. And if in case if it been a guardian, more likely. And in case of a male child, pinching of scrotum and application of ligages over penis in case of male, and even the examination of anal region is also need to be done. Even it could be a passive agent of sodomy, and a swabs from those regions again to be done. And in case of a female, on the part of external genitalia where signs of contusion, and where there may be signs of recent penetration, swabs, smears from the external genitalia need to be taken, and need to be subjected for detection of spermatozoa. And wherein the child has shown some sort of resistance, wherein a bruises in form of 6 penny bruises over the inner aspects of thigh region can also be seen. And these are the uh, other findings of battered baby syndrome. And particular part, head region, where after reflecting layers of scalp, and where there have been a localized discoloration over the suspected part, wherein with the help of a scalp, where linear incisions can be made out, underlying layers will show features of extravasations. And careful differentiation between coup and counter coup lesions are necessary. And if there been a moving object or stacked by a fixed head, and those can be determined on autopsy. And features of cerebral edema uh, will be highly suggestive of heavy brain, flattened gyri, obliterated sulci, and slit-like ventricles are the other associated findings of cerebral edema. Neck region is dissected following a V-shaped incision, and structures examined layer by layer, and even any obstruction or an lesion over an airway to be documented. And repeated forms of strangulation or grasping over the neck region, and wherein extreme forces can result in injuries over hyoid, thyroid cartilage, soft tissue of neck region. And anterior posterior compression fractures, and wherein even an avulsion fractures of hyoid can also be seen. And in case of a thyroid cartilage, wherein horns of a thyroid can also cartilage can also show features of fractures. Region of the victim, wherein localized fractures can be seen as a result of impactation of the blunt objects. Multiple fractures, multiple rib fractures can also be present. And one such characteristic features of battered baby or any degree of physical abuse, wherein an assailant being held with both hands and shaken violently, and it can present as a knobbing fracture. And a knobbing fracture is nothing but a fractures on lip, fractures of ribs on both the sides, almost close to spine region. And this is how it looks like. And multiple fractures, multiple ribs in near to the point of inflection. You can able to see a rosary or otherwise string of beads appearance, and most commonly on the posterior angles of rib are being the concerned part. Uh, Victims could die due to sustaining head injuries, and second most cause could be of rupture of abdominal organs. Viscera could be the second most common cause for death in case of battered baby syndrome. And regarding the autopsy findings, and wherein it could be mistaken for child abuse, are Mongolian spots, swelling of wrists and ankles from tight clothing, neck creases simulating ligature mark, facial molting. Fifth, resuscitation bruises on chest may be mistaken as forms of child abuse. All right, and how to differentiate all these by seeing the different parts of a body, other parts of a body, if nothing is present, and those are to be taken as artifacts, and autopsy surgeon need not waste his time on making a opinion on these points. Thank you so much for your patient listening. If there have been any doubts, queries relating to the content of the video, kindly address those issues in comment section below, or otherwise through any of the social media links provided in description section. Thank you.